Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a crucial lecture on a topic that frequently arises in SSB interviews. To enhance our understanding of this topic, let's divide it into several parts. Part 1. Defining terrorism. Terrorism is a term used to describe a wide range of violent acts committed by individuals or groups with political, religious, or ideological motivations. While the exact definition of terrorism is debated, it generally involves the use of violence, or the threat of violence against civilians to achieve a political goal. Different groups and individuals may have varying motivations and objectives, making it challenging to define terrorism objectively. However, most definitions include elements such as political motivation, violence, the threat of violence, and the targeting of non-combatants. Part 2. The psychology of terrorism. Terrorism is not solely a political or military strategy. It is also a psychological tactic. Terrorists aim to create fear and anxiety among their targets, leading to a sense of powerlessness and helplessness. These psychological impacts can cause long-term trauma and social disruption within individuals and communities. Terrorist organizations often employ propaganda, indoctrination techniques, and tactics like kidnapping, torture, and assassination to recruit new members, intimidate opponents, and gain publicity for their cause. Part 3. Terrorism and Global Politics. Terrorism has become a significant issue in global politics, prompting governments and international organizations to work together to combat terrorist organizations and prevent attacks. However, the response to terrorism is controversial, as some argue that anti-terrorism measures infringe on civil liberties and human rights. The fight against terrorism is complicated by factors such as poverty, political instability, and ethnic and religious tensions. Addressing these underlying issues is crucial for effectively combating terrorism in the long term. Part 4. The impact of terrorism on society. Terrorism has a profound impact on society, instilling fear and anxiety, disrupting daily life, and damaging infrastructure. In addition to the immediate physical and psychological effects of terrorist attacks, there can be long-term economic and social consequences. Terrorism can also exacerbate existing tensions between different groups, leading to increased discrimination and prejudice. It is essential for communities to come together in the aftermath of a terrorist attack, and leaders must promote unity and tolerance in the face of adversity. Part 5. Preventing terrorism. Preventing terrorism requires a multifaceted approach involving intelligence gathering, law enforcement, diplomacy, and community engagement. Effective prevention strategies may include addressing the root causes of terrorism, such as poverty and political oppression, as well as disrupting terrorist networks and preventing the spread of extremist ideologies. Community engagement plays a vital role in building trust between authorities and local populations, promoting peaceful dialogue, and resolving conflicts. Education and awareness-raising campaigns can also help prevent radicalization and foster tolerance and understanding. Part 6. The future of terrorism. The future of terrorism remains uncertain, but it is likely that terrorist organizations will continue to adapt and evolve in response to changing political, technological, and social conditions. Communication technology and social media advances may facilitate the recruitment of new members and the spread of messages, while surveillance technology advancements may aid authorities in tracking and disrupting terrorist activities. Governments and societies must remain vigilant, adaptable, and uphold democratic values, human rights, and the rule of law in the face of evolving threats. In conclusion, terrorism is a grave issue that has gained prominence in recent times due to the severe atrocities associated with it. It involves the intentional use of indiscriminate violence to instill fear among people for financial, political, ideological, or religious agendas. Terrorism affects innocent people the most, and it manifests in various forms, including organized groups like Al-Qaeda or Boko Haram, as well as lone wolf attacks by individuals. Terrorism has devastating effects, causing loss of lives, displacement, poverty, and societal divisions. To combat terrorism effectively, we must denounce all acts of terrorism unequivocally, prevent national governments from supporting terrorist organizations for their own political gains, Seize military aid and weapons sales to parties associated with terrorism. Dismantle military bases in war-stricken countries. However, the fight against terrorism is an ongoing battle, and the future remains uncertain. Governments and societies must remain vigilant, adaptable, and uphold democratic values, human rights, and the rule of law. Unfortunately, terrorism continues to cast its shadow on modern society, with acts of terror becoming as common as everyday news. Prompt and appropriate interventions are necessary to prevent the world from descending into chaos. Thank you for joining this lecture, and if you have learned something new, please like the video and subscribe to our channel to stay updated. Also, feel free to comment with any suggestions on how we can improve our content.